What's going on, guys? Today we'll be taking a brief look at the application called WatchMaker, which allows you to create customized watch faces for your Android Wear devices. And I'll be showing you how to get a watch face like this over to your Galaxy Gear S. Now let's take Gear S out of the case, set it aside. That's what the watch face looks like. Okay. Alright, so the application that I'm talking about is this, WatchMaker. Now the reason you don't see anything here, it's not exactly normal. I just have it blocked from the internet. That's my thing. So just go to watch faces and create a new watch face. That's actually what this my regular watch face is, and I'll be showing you how to get this one, kind of like this one, onto your Gear S. Now let's go to New, Design Watch, hit plus, and the very first thing you need to do is select Hours and Markers. Now, as you can see, it looks circular. It's not what you want for Gear S because the Gear S display is kind of rectangular. So what you want to do is towards the bottom, you want to go to the Squarify option and make it 100. That's what it's going to look like. However, if you do push it, that's the button to push, you're going to see that it looks like this. Not exactly something that you want for the Gear S. So what you need to do is offset this particular layer on the y-axis towards the negative, and it's actually, there is no set formula to do that. It's mostly trial and error type of deal. So for me, it's just came up with the -80. Done. And you also need to stretch it. To stretch it along the y-axis, you need to go to the scale option, animation scale, and kind of work on it. So you need to hit plus, essentially. That's what this is plus. And as you can see, as you change it, you see the changes that you are making. So let's go to, say, -30, and here you are. Looks fine. So go push it to the watch, and when you do, that's what it looks like. Okay. Now the next thing you want to do is to create a hour and a minute. No, I'm sorry. Hour and minute hands. Yes. Let's go to the hour and hit something like try different style, something like this. You can choose the color. Let's choose blue. And you also need to offset it by the same amount on the same axis, which is -80 for the y-axis. So -80, done. And that's what it looks like. If you push it to the watch, you see that it looks like this. It looks fine so far. Let's go to the minute mark, hit the same style like this. Colors, make it something like this. Okay. Push it to the watch. Actually no, because you need to position it once again -80 on the y-axis. Done. Push it to the watch, and here you are. Okay. Now let's go with the battery indicator for the watch. Now I don't know if this is a bug. You need to select text. Yeah, I don't know if this is a bug in the WatchMaker, but watch what happens. You can call it whatever you want. You go to the drop down, and for the battery indicator, you need to select battery, and what you see here is battery level. Now, as you can see, this shows the battery level of the phone. It does not show the battery level of the watch. So this is something just to keep in mind. You just select battery level, the first one, the very first one, or the second one with the percentage sign. Hit done, Position, once again, change it to -80, just for this example of a watch. Select whatever you want, let's go with the number 30, and push it to the watch. And in the center you can see that it says that it actually is displaying the percentage of the watch and not the phone, so this is okay. Alright, but over here it still shows the percentage of the phone, so that might be a little misleading, so just keep that in mind. Now the next one is the task variables. Before actually going to task variables and anything task related, let's finish with the WatchMaker itself. So go to plus and hit text, anything, hit drop down, and let's do the date. The date is going to be, you can choose the month and the day. So let's do the third month, something like this, month and a year. I prefer leading zeros. I will show you briefly why that is a little later. Let's go plus, and now let's hit the day itself, which is 26. So let's go with the leading zero once again. Okay, let's move this over here. Okay. Actually, I think, yep. Let's add the digital representation of the analog value, which is 444 in this case. Let's go to plus text string, okay, drop down time 4, and let me make a mistake in a way, deliberately. Let's go, let's choose the first one. So it's DH followed by space, colon, space, and minute would be 4:45, so that would be 45 here. A minute in the hour, 4:45. So it looks fine, right? Okay. You need to offset this for once again by something like it's a trial and error. It just you need to try things out. So in this case, the number that most works the most okay-ish is -350, and I'll show you why. For me anyway. So hit done. You don't see it here. Actually, it's a good thing, because when you hit push to the watch, you see it right at the top and against the top, the 12-digit mark. However, if you look closely, you can see that it's not exactly against the 12-hour mark. The colon should be in the center, which it's not. It's slightly offset by a few pixels to the left, which is not good. You need to change, and that is why I prefer leading zeros. When you do that, let's hit Z here because that's the variable for the leading zero for the hour. Let's hit here as well. Let's choose DMZ, not to be confused with the internet DMZ, but whatever. Hit push, and now you can see that the colon is right in the center, which is aesthetically pleasing to the eye. Okay, now that is why I choose leading zeros often when it comes to WatchMaker. Now the next thing you want to do is to choose the tasker variables. For that, let me briefly explain what tasker variables we will be dealing with and what they do. We will be concentrating on these four: condition, humidity, temperature, and W update. W update actually makes all of these work. What it does is first performs the location task, followed by W temperature, humidity, condition, and performs the location off. Now, the location, first one, what does location on do? It simply switches on my location, gets the value for latitude and longitude, stores it in the variable called T-lock, right here, T-lock, and switches the location off. And this is a backup in case it does not work. It uses the auto location to switch the location off again in case if the first one does not work, which sometimes it does not work. So after that is done and the T-lock variable is set, then the WU temperature starts. What is that? What that variable task rather does is it goes to this website. It's called W Underground. This stands for Weather Underground, and it pushes. This is the URL, the full URL. What it does is it pushes the T-lock variable value to the end of that URL, pushing it to the query variable on the URL, in the URL itself, in the the Weather Underground server. After that is done, it scans the contents of the resulting web page into the standard HTTPD variable, which I later set the variable WFC to. You can call it whatever you want. It does not have to be WFC. I forgot what FC actually stood for. I did it very long time ago, and yeah. So what it does, without diving too deep into Tasker, I guess itself, it does all these things like splitting the variable and sectioning a particular variable. It pushes the end result of this step is to push the contents of the resulting the end variable, which is called WTemp, stands for temperature, weather underground temperature, over to the WatchMaker plugin. The same and then it clears the variable just so that everything is clean, clean slate. Then it does the same for W humidity, absolutely same thing except for the URL, because you don't want to be calling URLs too many times, otherwise your IP might get blocked. So yeah, it does the same thing for the W condition. I actually disabled the pink is task is a action that has been disabled. There's plenty of tutorials from Hollywood Frodo on what Tasker does and what it actually is, so you might want to check that out. If not, I will probably make some tutorials of my own later, perhaps, I'm not sure. It does the same thing as the other two tasks did. It pushes the WUCOND over to the WatchMaker plugin. And then it switches off once again as a backup of that location switching action. It switches off the location in case if it has not switched itself off yet. Okay, then it waits 15 minutes and if the profile is active, if the profile named weather update is active, it goes to the number 1, which is here, and does everything again. Okay, otherwise it stops. Okay, the profile is active as long as my watch is connected. So if it's not active, it means that the watch has disconnected, which means it does not have to get the location anymore, and thereby it's not going to push anything, resulting in saved resources, battery, data, and so on. All right, now let's go back to the WatchMaker and do the adding part, the task of variables. Hit plus, text because it is a string, hit anything, okay, drop down. You can hit task here, tasker, and if you do, you get this. So these are the left curly brackets followed by lowercase t, followed by an ellipsis, followed by the closing right curly bracket. You need to remember the fact that it is case sensitive. So let's do the temperature variable, for instance. You do lowercase t, oh, there you go, it already pops up. W temp, right there. The first one, the W, is capital because it again is case sensitive. You need to be careful with that. All right. You see that it says 51. It is good. It means that it works, that everything is working. Hit done. Move it somewhere. Doesn't matter. You can move it here. Doesn't matter. Hit plus again. Text, string, again, whatever. Drop down. By now I just do bracket, lowercase t, and actually in my case on my keyboard it kind of remembers, but let's do it anyway. W U C O N Z stands for condition. Then you close it with the right curly bracket, and once you do, it says it gets the value of that variable. It means that once again it works. So hit done. Just move it towards somewhere here. Whatever works for you. Let's do 0 here. The text size, something more manageable. Actually, let's do 35, but let's scale it down on the x-axis. Something like this. Here you go. 80. Move this towards the bottom. Move this over here. 26 moves over here. Okay. Now let's do the next one. Plus text string. Okay. Drop down again. Tasker T, and do the humidity and closing bracket 60. It means once again that it works. Move this somewhere here. Move this somewhere here. And if you push it, you can see that here you are. Everything works perfectly. Okay, so that's what this is. Here you are, Gear S running Android Wear with a custom watch face like this. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but it's all possible thanks to the guy named Victor on XDA forums. Special thanks to him, Android Wear now works on your Gear S. Granted, there is some flashing and ROMing that you need to do. Well, not ROMing, but flashing. If you flashed a ROM before, you know pretty much how to do this, especially if you've flashed Samsung devices, which includes the Odin. It's nothing problematic. It's just something that you need to do. You need to get kind of comfortable with doing. Once you do, you can get things like this working. It has taken him a few months to do it. It is still a work in progress, but in my opinion, this is working so far pretty good. Not everything works, but things that do, it's amazing what it looks like on a beautiful screen such as that of Gear S. It looks very good. As far as I know, you cannot make a call on this as of this moment, but again, it is a work in progress, and I am following that thread very closely. I will leave the URL for the thread as well. So that is pretty much it. I will probably do other tutorials on this application as well as Tasker in the future. Feel free to subscribe, let me know what you think. Alright, so that is pretty much it. Alright, thanks guys. Alright, bye.